Alright. Circle has a center 3, 4 and passes through the origin at 0, 0. Find the radius. Well, we'd all hope that you'd use the distance formula. And the distance formula is square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 call that x2, y2, y1. What we're going to get is 3 minus squared plus 4 minus 0 squared equal to radius of 5. Alrighty, next part. Find the equation. Well, we all knew from earlier that it's this formula here. Therefore, I'll say that it's x minus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals radius squared, which is 5 squared, which is. There you go. Ready? Now, keep going. Calculate the points where it intersects the x-axis at R and the y-axis at S. Calculate the coordinates of R and S. Alrighty. Now, the lads did this a smart way. I'm going to do this the regimented old school. Right? What's guaranteed about the x-axis? What's guaranteed about the x-axis? Y would be 0. So if I insert y equals 0, I should be able to find out the 2 points where it hits the line. You get what I'm saying? So what happens if I grab my equation and put y equals 0? What will happen there? We'll end up with x minus 3 multiplied by x minus 3. What happens when you put in 0 here for y? Yeah, you multiply it out. And guess what you get? Anybody remember how to solve that? What you take out? What's left over? What's your 2 answers? Yes, it is. Now, does that match your diagram? 0 and 6. Go back up to the top and see if it matches what you're thinking. We were thinking 0, 0, weren't we? And this does match 6, 0. Is that alright? Now, you do the same thing, except this time you're not putting y equal to 0. What are you putting equal to 0 this time? You're putting x equal to 0 because it's along the y-axis. You x equals 0, and you put an x equals 0, what happens? You get minus 3 squared, and then you get y minus 4 multiplied by y minus 4. And you get that equal to 25. You're going to get 9. You're going to get 9 plus y squared minus 8y plus 16 equals 25. And then the 20, and then you're left with this. And how do you answer that, Sam? Now, if you had a complete brain melt and you didn't know how to do it, you know what you could do? A equals 1, B equals minus 6, C equals 0. And you can do the minus B form if you completely forgot. And for this one, you can do A equals 1, B equals minus 8, and C equals 0. So the minus B formula is always an option if for some reason you don't remember what you're doing on the day. Now, the fact that we know that that's 0, 0, and 0, 0, and 8, Well, we already knew about 0, 0, but what we didn't know was about 0, 8. Okay, you guys? Right, good job. Now that's part B. And what's part C? Explain why RS is the diameter of the center of the circle. Right? What do you think the midpoint of 0, 8, and 6, 0 is? Right, so would you agree both points are on the circle? And what would you expect our midpoint to be if they are the diameter? 0 plus 6 over 2, and then 8 plus 0 over 2. I'm doing x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. I'm doing the midpoint formula. And their midpoint is 3, 4, which is the center of the circle. Yeah. You could also do the distance formula twice and say, well, the center of the circle. No, that doesn't prove it. You'd have to do the midpoint, the 2 points, and the midpoint is, yes. All right. We're up for this. It's the longest class in a while. All right. Now, find the scale factor of the enlargements. No bother. Would everybody agree we have small square and big square? We go with that? Small square, big square. What's the size of the small square? 4 by 4. What's the size of the big square? So therefore, what's the enlargement? 14 divided by 4? 3.5. I think. Yeah, 3.5. Everybody go with that? See, the length is 14. You take a length, you take the length of the bigger object and divide it by the length of the smaller object, and it'll tell you how much it's increased by, what factor it's increased by. Find AC. Which one's AC? Everybody agree AC is the diagonal, is it? So AC would be equivalent of 4 up and 4 across. Did everybody got that? So what are we using for that? Yeah, it's root 32, but root 32 comes out as 4 root 2. And A has to be a natural. Right, that's easy enough. Use the scale factor to find PR. Which one's PR? Oh, PR is this one here. It's going to be 3.5 times bigger. You could do the same thing, but I think the question specifically says use the scale factor. So it has to be 3.5 times bigger. So you get your 4 root 2 and you multiply it by? Yeah. I got 14 root 2. Is that okay? Now, last part. Under another enlargement with center O, the area of the image of the square OABC is 81 centimeters squared. Find the scale factor of this enlargement. No bother. Okay. Now, here's what I want you to focus in on here. Okay. So, would you agree that the original is 4 by 4? Would you agree the original area is 16? Would you agree the other area was 14 by 14? And its area will be 196. What happens when you divide this area by this area? What do you get? You actually get 49 over 4. Okay? Area is two-dimensional. Would you agree with that? What do you mean by two-dimensional? It's you have to multiply length by length or length by width. Okay? So what happens is you don't get the scale factor. When you divide one area by the other area, you don't get the scale factor. You actually get the scale factor squared. And if it was volume, you'd get the scale factor cubed if you divide one volume by another volume. So therefore, what you need to do here, and you'd get 7 over 2. Now that's not the question, is it? The question was, we don't know the scale factor, but what we do know is that this is 81. And if that's 81, what does it make the two lengths? And what's 9 divided by 4? 2.25. The scale factor was 2.25. What's another way of doing it? What's 81 divided by 16? It's the same as k squared. Square root it and you'll get 9 over 4. You get the same answer two different ways. Is that right with you guys? Not always, but a lot of times it is. The heights of all the members of the swimming pool were collected and reported. The data is shown in the table below. Taking mid-interval values, it was found that the mean height of the members was 175. Ouch. What does mid-interval mean? It's in the name. Add them together and divide by 2. I'm going to get 142.5. Next one, 157.5. The one after that, 172.5, and the one after that. Now, what does it mean by mid-interval values? We got to multiply these by each other, don't we? So what are we going to do? 142.5 multiplied by 4 is 570. That's 570. 157.5 multiplied by 8 is 1,260. 172.5 multiplied by x is just simply, and 187.5 multiplied by 28 is 5,250. You okay with that? How many people were there? 4 plus 8, 12. 12 plus 28, 40 plus whatever, x's. Is that right, you guys? That's how many people there are. So the total heights of every person divided by the total number of people. What's the answer equal to? 175. And here's the awkward part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get these parts here. I'm going to add them together. You see those three parts? We're going to get 7,080 plus 172.5 x. Can x be a decimal answer? Can you say there was 3.5 people? X will have to be what type of answer? A whole number. If I don't get a whole number, I'm in trouble. Okay? What can I do with the 40 over x on the bottom here? And multiply, yeah? You get 7,000 plus 175x. That equals all this nonsense here. Now, if I bring the 172.5 to the left, take it away, I'm going to get 2.5x. And I bring the 7,000 and take it away, I'm going to get 80. And 80 divided by 2.5 is 32 people. 32 people were in that category. Alright. What is the maximum number of members who could be smaller than the mean? The mean was 175, wasn't it? No, 175. Let's, for argument's sake, that all 32 people here were below 175. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm claiming that there were like 165, 166, 167, and none of them were above 175. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah. No worries. So, what are we going to do? Why don't we add up 32, 8, and 4 to get 42 people. Let's have a look again. Oh, it is 44, my fault. Thanks, Sam. What would be the minimum amount of people that would have been smaller than the min? What could I claim in that case? I could claim that all 32 members are above 175. And the answer in that case would be 12. 12 of them would be below 175. So with mid-interval values, you can claim they're all at the bottom or the top. They could all be 179, or they could all be 165, depending on what you want to claim. All right? Yeah. Now, I think what we're meant to do with this here, if I'm correct, is see this woman from here to here? I think she's 1.75 meters tall. She's the average height. Does that make sense? How many blocks is that then? Or does it say any other information? Oh, it's the mean height. Is the mean height 175? Now, what does that mean? One block is the same as 1.75 divided by? One block is actually worth 0.25. Okay with that? How many blocks do we have from here to here? 4, 8, 12 blocks. So how much is 12 blocks worth? Multiply 0.25 by 12 and you get 3 meters. Alright. What does that look like to you guys? I think that looks like 1.5 blocks. Do you agree with that? So multiply 0.25 by 1.5 and you get 0.375. How many blocks from here to here? 4. Anybody see 10 blocks? What's 10 by 0.25? 2.5. No worries. Alright, what else do we need? This one here, 5 blocks. So 5 by 0.25. 1.25. 0.75. Anything else it wants from me? Is that it? Alright. Happy days. Now what does it want from me next? Oh, the angle. Alright, here we go. Look at this angle here. Okay. What's the height of that angle? And what's the 0.75 across, isn't it? So that's 2.5. That's 0.75. What function will I use? I could use the sine rule if I wanted, but I should use tan, shouldn't I? Opposite over adjacent. Is this a length or an angle question? What's the only way an angle question ends? Shift tan inverse. Oh god. Shift tan inverse 2.5 divided by 0.75, and what do we get? 73.3 or 73 degrees. Taking the width of the diamond platform to be 1.5, estimate the volume of concrete required to construct it. Okay. So, see this diagram here? Ever see this diagram here? Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get the area of this diagram. So the job is to get the area. So I have to get the area of all the red bits. Are we cool with that? And once I get the area of all the red bits, I need to multiply it by 1.5. Why do I need to multiply by 1.5? Because it's 1.5 It's 1.5 deep. Does that make sense? So this is, once again, you can do this. You can do most things. Don't need to worry anymore. For years, right? Let's begin. All right. Why don't we take the easy marks first? We're going to make an attempt at it. Very few people will get something like this right, but we're going to make an attempt at it. Where are the easy marks located? That's all right. Would everybody say the area of the rectangle is the easy one? Would everybody see the top part here? We'll do it in green. Or sorry, black. Everybody see this black part here? What's that? 3 multiplied by. Right. That's an attempt so far, right? And you get 1.125. Okay. Now, I have a sneaky idea. Here's my sneaky idea. Why don't we get the area of this rectangle here? Have you see the area of that rectangle there? And what will I do? Area of that rectangle, take away the blue triangle, take away the green triangle, and then I get the area of what's left over. That makes sense to you guys? Okay, so what's the area of the rectangle? 2 across and 2.5 up. So is everybody happy with 2 by 2.5 to get me? 5. What's the area of the blue triangle then? Half base times height, which would be a half 0.75 times, yeah. What's the area of the green triangle? A half the base of 5, which is 1.25, height of 2.5. Is that alright? So I'm getting 15, I'm getting 0.93, yeah, 0.9375 for the blue one actually. And the green one, as I said, I'm hoping this is more difficult than anything you're going to be asked. Are we okay with that? And what do I have to do with the 5, which is there, the rectangle? 5 take away what? 0.9375 take away 1 times 5.625. What do we get? 2.5. No, it's take away from the 5. So that's it, the answer is 2.5. I took them away from the 5. Okay? So if you look here, so this region here is 2.5. Yeah? And this region up here is 1.125. So we add the two of them together, and what do we get? Now 3.625 is the area. So 3.625 is the area, and we got to multiply that by the depth, which is, oh man, and the answer therefore is 5.4375 meters. Good. Right, I think we'll make this our last one. We might start tomorrow on the end of this. The swimming pool to which the diving platform is attached has a length of 30 meters and a width of 20 meters. The bottom of the pool is sloped with a depth of 1.2 meters at the shallow end and a depth of 4.5 meters in the deep end. Find the volume of water required to fill the swimming pool. Alright, let's draw a diagram here, guys. Okay? Right. Alright. Let's do it from the side. Okay? Imagine you're in the shallow end. This is you here. Okay? How deep is the shallow end? 1.2. Now what happens over time? Gets deeper. And what happens at the very last? What happens at the end? That'll be 4.5. Is that right? Now if I go straight across, what does that mean? What does that mean if I go straight across? If that's 4.5, that'll be 1.2, and 1.2 take away from 4.5 is 3.3 in between the two blue dots. You kill with that? And look what happens here. Okay? This is where you make your money. Look at this, right? Here's the actual diagram of the pill. See the way the pill is 3D now? Okay, so what's the length of the pill? From here to here. 30, what's the width of the pill? Is it not? Is it 40? Width's 20. Okay? What happens if I just get the area of the face? Get the area of the face and multiply it by 20. Would that do it? Let's go back. We didn't even need that damn diagram. Go back here. Ready? What's the width again? 30. Alright, 30 times 1.2. There we agree this is 36 meters squared. What about underneath it? A half base times height. A half 36 times. That was 1.2 times 30. This is a half, not 36, a half 30 times 3.3. What do you get there? 49.5. And what happens when you add both areas together? What'd you say? Probably, yeah. 85.5. Now 85.5 is the area. How deep does it go again? It goes 20 deep, doesn't it? Oh, sorry, the width. So multiply by 20. And you get 1,710 meters cubed. Okay. How many liters would that be? 4 zeros, right? 50 liters per second. So what do I need to divide that by? Divide it by 50 and see how many seconds it takes to fill it up. 50 after one minute. Sorry, 50 after 1 second, 100 after 2 seconds, 150 after 3 seconds. How many seconds are you going to need to get all the way up to that number there? A lot of time, isn't that right? So we're going to divide it by 50. And what we're going to get is 34,200 seconds. Now, we don't want the answer in seconds, do we? Divide that number by, turn it into minutes. 570 minutes. Divide that by 60. And you get 9.5 hours, which is 9 hours and 30 minutes. Okay, guys.